Greetings, Virtual Village family. How are you all doing this evening? I hope you all are doing well. I am extremely excited to be here on this Wednesday. Oh, Shania's in the building. So glad to see you. It's always a pleasure to see you here. Definitely, we had a wonderful time yesterday when Dominion Energy came through and read for us, and we had read with us, and we had the wonderful announcement about the grant, the social justice grant that we received from them. And Shania and Peyton were a part of that day because everything we do here is about our young people and building these strong. And Shania and Peyton are definitely embodiments of that and so much more in the educational and cultural experience. We are extremely proud of our Virtual Village youth. And as we go through the evening, if you are regular with this show, then you know how our youth show up and show out. And if you are a first-time viewer right now, then you are in for a wonderful evening tonight. A lot of learning and a lot of literacy, culture, community, and love, because that's how it goes down with the literacy game. That's how it goes down here. Y'all need to tell me too about this theme song. Like I know, I can't see y'all, but I know y'all jamming back there to the literacy game theme song. I know we do. We have a literacy game party backstage as we listen to that. So I hope you all are enjoying that and that you're sharing that theme song and helping that to be a part of your experience for your little ones, your family, as you are preparing to read, as you are preparing to learn, because it's a wonderful song. So look, I am feeling good. It was a wonderful day today. Wherever you are, I hope you were blessed with the warm weather that we had here, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. And I have some traveling that I have to do, and I'm excited that while I'm out there, it's going to be some good weather for me. We are long overdue that. I think a lot of us are ready for some good old sun rays and sunshine and being able to get out and ride bikes, experience nature, do whatever it is that we want to do. Let the little people run and play around. And of course, doing those things safely. But, in the midst of all of that, reading still has to happen. And a beautiful thing, when our teachers come on and do these foundational literacy lessons, we've added the parent tip this year. And those parent tips are some practical things that you can do to keep literacy alive, to keep it active in your daily life. So there are some things while you're enjoying these beautiful sun rays. Our teachers have given you some nuggets of ways to incorporate literacy. And of course, there's nothing like being outside, putting a little blanket down and having a nice book with you, a nice culturally affirming book, one from our book list, and getting your read on outside. That's a wonderful thing to do. And if you guys do something like that over the week or the rest of the weekend, please report back to us on Monday and let us know how it went. So I know I have had a busy day. It's a wonderful day. Any day that we are alive is a beautiful day, but it's been a lot going on. And I kind of started feeling like I'm still starting to, be running on fumes. I need a refill. So y'all know the perfect person to do that. The perfect person to give me and all of us that lift that we need is our phenomenal Shania. So let's let her kick it off and get us all affirmed. Here we go.
Greetings, virtual villagers. My name is Shania, and do you know what time it is? It's affirmation time! Time to remind ourselves how great we are. So everybody, repeat after me. I am smart. I have purpose. I am confident. I am valuable. My voice is worthy of being heard. I am an asset to my family, school, and community. I respect myself and I respect others. I am beautifully made inside and out. I love my beautiful hair and I love my beautiful brown skin. I am more than enough. Great job, virtual villagers. Can I get a virtual high five? great job. And always remember how fantastic you are.
I'm Kalia, and this is today's moment in history. The 2008 housing crisis. The 2008 housing crisis disseminated Black wealth, since most of the wealth in the country comes through stable home ownership that can be passed down to one's children. The 2008 crisis came through the government's role in the mortgage market declining as the private sector of the market expanded. With this expansion came the implementation of subprime loans, with predatory features. These lenders targeted homeowners who believed that they were simply refinancing their homes and taking advantage of the low interest rates. How far from the truth this was. These people were actually exposed to loans that became unaffordable and outrageous. Even more concerning is that these lending companies were given specific target goals to target Black people for these predatory loans because of the belief that they'd be more likely to accept these dangerous loans due to the lack of financial literacy. Black people were purposely targeted for the subprime loans, which then caused them to be unable to pay the loans on time or at all when the market had fallen through. The failure to repay these loans resulted in the loss of Black homes across the nation, with the effects still being felt with homelessness rising since then. The privatization of the housing sector led to the racist targeting of Black homeowners that eventually caused the homeowners to lose their homes and their years of hard work.
This episode of the Virtual Village Show has been brought to you by Dominion Energy.
Good morning, students!
Professor Ramona and I are going to be working on fractions today.
Encuentra el país.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him.
Excuse me.
Ay, de nuevo. Teachers are doing whatever it takes to connect with their students.
202.
And Cox is too, by connecting over 140,000 eligible students in need with low-cost internet.
Who wants to see it again?
With the Connect to Compete program from Cox.
Hey everyone, it is Tasha Turnbull here, owner of T2 Fitness, and I am bringing to you all the Homebody Series. The Homebody Series was created because we are now more so at home, but guess what? I want us to feel connected. I want us to feel strong together. I want us to sweat together, and I want us to build our healthiest bodies possible. So we're going to be bringing you live workouts that you can do in the mornings, in the evenings, on the weekends, anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes. They're going to be low impact workouts, high impact workouts, but guess what? No matter what your fitness level is, all workouts are going to be able to accommodate wherever you are along your fitness journey. So make sure you join us because we need to work out, we need to be strong, and we can do this all from home.
All right, I think I got some of everything that I needed right there. Shania came and affirmed me. So I told you guys I was feeling like I was on E, but now I am up there. I am ready. I needed that. I needed that pick me up. And then Kalia comes through with that moment in history. And, we were intentional with who and what we decided to talk about in the moments of history. So we wanted to, choose people who you do not normally hear about in public school education, people who a lot of times you reach adulthood and that's the first time that you hear about them. We wanted to learn about people who resisted. And even the people who you hear about constantly, we chose some of them, but we chose to highlight the aspects of them that are not told. So we want everybody to learn about new people, new concepts. Tonight, Kalia talked about the 2008 housing crisis, and over a decade later, we are still reeling from that in our community. And we think that's important to understand because a lot of times we see a landscape, we see the terrain of how our communities are or how different communities are, and we juxtapose those images and we don't understand fully what happened. Even things that we lived through, we don't take the time to contextualize it. And so it's extremely important that we put these things there in the forefront. And then it's here for you all to go and have the conversations to explore it further. As a result of that, homelessness within the Black community has been on the rise. And, we have a lot of wonderful things to celebrate, but it's important that we also realize the reason why we're still fighting. And sometimes they try to make those things not be as visible, or to make it seem like those things are just baked in and they're just inherent. It just is what it is in our community. So it's extremely important that we understand things that have been done intentionally, that have even been predatory, as Kalia points out, and that we roll up our sleeves and that we are in this fight. And I know part of the thing here with Clever Communities in Action is making sure that our children are literate, that we are literate, because we believe that literacy is liberation, and we are here to get free. And having a knowledge and understanding of these things, and our children understanding these things, from the age of 5 and up versus figuring it out at 35 and up, makes a big, big difference. So with that said, I am ready to get further affirmed. I am ready for this foundational literacy lesson to find out, what we're going to learn tonight, what the parent tip is going to be. And of course, we have the best teachers in town here with the Virtual Village show. I was chopping it up with this teacher beforehand, backstage, and just hearing all the love and intention that she has for her students, and just the conversations that we have together about the work that we've done, and just, finding another person who is in it for the real reasons. She knows her craft, but she also loves and understands our students and goes that extra mile. So let's bring on our beloved Miss Owens.
Hello, hello.
There she is. How are you doing, sis?
I'm doing great.
Good. Are you feeling affirmed?
Definitely.
Yes. Did you need that pick me up too?
I definitely did. The song, the intro got me up too.
Yeah. I told him we have a little literacy gang party back here. So, this is the place. This is the place to be. All right. So you all don't be late to this literacy party. So how have you been today? How's your day been going?
Just busy, just preparing, getting mentally all prepared for next week. See how it's been almost a year. March 13th, 2020 was our last day in school.
That is wild. And just in case anybody does not know what you're referring to, what are you getting prepared for?
Back to in school. Our students, our kids are coming back in the classroom.
Yes. And so you've shared with us that you're excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I a whole lot of adjectives I could throw out for that.
Give us 3.
Well, of course I'm excited. I'm a little bit nervous, to see how the kids are going to react, because like I said, it's been a long time since they've been in a school building. So I'm nervous to see how they're going to, acclimate to returning to that type of setting. And I'm just energized. I'm energized.
That's awesome. And all understandable. We're wishing you all a productive, fun, and safe return. And when you put it in that perspective, that it's been almost a year, we have a lot to really sit back and analyze here with what has happened. A lot of changes have occurred from a system that was already broken prior to this happening. And then this happening, and what has been compounded as a result of that. So you teachers, and especially to the teachers who are invested, to the teachers who care, to the teachers who are, responsive and even ahead of, who anticipate the needs of our students. We appreciate you. You are in the front line. And I said, I hope you guys were keeping a journal. If it was something you were writing down, if it was something that you were recording before you go to sleep at night, because although we don't know what's to come in life, I definitely know that this is the time that's going to go down in history. 5, 10, 30, 50 years from now, this will be talked about. And you all were able to see more into the lives of our young people than you were probably able to see before. And to see how this pandemic affected them, and just to see things all around, and to, the brokenness of the system, and the ways people stepped in, the ways people need to step in. And you all are the chroniclers. Did I make up a word? You all are the ones who are able to chronicle what happened during that time. And I hope that you all were keeping an account of that, because I mean, this is the historian in me is just the history lover in me is like, whoa, that's some real time stuff for you to have been able to say that you were a part of there. I mean, we all lived through this. The teachers, y'all got the glimpse. Y'all got the glimpse in there. I mean, some of y'all need to write some books after this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, you what?
I could fill a book.
I definitely read it and promote it. So come on with it, sis. Do your thing. There's so many types of books that could be written as a result of this. Like there could be some informational books, some instructional books, some firsthand accounts here. We'll change the names to protect the innocent. And I even see some novels coming from this whole ordeal. There's a literary treasure trove here that could happen. So anyway, we have you for the last time before you were back being a classroom teacher. So before that goes down, and this is actually for everybody tuned in, the next to the last week of season 4. So next week is our last week of season 4, and we will be celebrating. Not celebrating that it's ending, but just celebrating because we've done a great thing here again. And so we have Miss Gaynor in the building. Always glad to see her. She says, greetings, virtual villagers. Greetings to you too, you and your daughter. I'm so glad that you are tuned in. So are you ready for this lesson? Are you ready to get this literacy on?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you know how it goes. I'm going to be scarce. I'm going to step away and let you do your thing.
Awesome. All right, good evening, virtual villagers. I'm so glad to be here with you tonight. So in our lesson today, we are going to be focusing on 2 literacy topics. The first one is going to be on long vowel sounds. So we're going to be talking about certain long vowel sounds. We're also going to be looking at prefixes and suffixes. We're going to find out that prefixes and suffixes can be used to read and decode unfamiliar words. And our parent tip I'm going to give you now, and I'm going to remind you later, is you can fill a box with drawing and writing materials. And with these materials, you can find the opportunities for your child to write anything. Write it, shopping lists, thank you cards, birthday cards, any opportunity for your child to write, you can have this box available for your child to be creative. So the first objective in the lesson is long vowels. And we're going to look at some more long vowel sounds or long vowel patterns. And when we see words that have OA, that's what we're going to be looking at today, the OA vowels together. Those make the long O sound. So let's take a look at a couple examples. We have the word oak. We have oak, oak. Put it together and we have oak. Then we have the word boat. B-O-T, B-O-T, boat. Long O. Our next word is soak. Soak. S-O-K. S-O-K. Soak. And our last long O word is float. 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 Great job, virtual villagers. Those were our long O vowel patterns. The next thing we're going to talk about are suffixes. And suffixes come at the end of a word. And suffixes change the meanings of words. So the words are broken up into two parts, the root word and the suffix. So let's take a look at a few examples. Now the suffix, our first suffix we're going to look at is able. And able means that it can be done. So the first word that we're going to add able to is predictable. Predictable. Now the root word is predict. And of course we have our suffix able. So we have predict plus able equals predictable. And that word means that we are able to predict something. We can predict something. Our next suffix is ed. And ed means past tense. So when you add the suffix ed to a word, it makes that word past tense. So our word is walked. Now the root word is walk, and the suffix is the ed. So we have walk plus our ed. That equals walked. And this word means that the walking occurred in the past. The walking occurred in the past, past tense. And the third suffix that we're going to be looking at tonight is the er, the and that means one who. So we add the er to a word, to a root word, that means one who. So the word we have is drummer. We have our root word, drum, and we have our suffix, We have drum plus the that equals drummer. And what is a drummer? A drummer is one who drums, person who drums, right? Great job, virtual villagers, with our long vowel patterns and our suffixes, able, ed, and er. When we come back, we are going to be reading a biography about a very important person in our country. So come on back.
I'm back. All right. So that was a great lesson. Those suffixes are important. Definitely having an understanding of what they mean and being able to identify those. So we're giving you these bite-sized literacy lessons that help you to become a strong reader. You know, it's like the Transformers. You get the little pieces together, all of that, and you form the big, you know, transformer. All right. So, you know, it matters. The little bit builds up. And as you take those bite-sized lessons, it helps you as you get into reading, you know, when it's required for, you know, when you start getting in school or just in life where you're having to read larger text and being able to understand what you were reading and being able to decipher. If our children are just guessing at it, you know, that's not going to cut it. It's going to make it challenging for them when text starts to increase, when the difficulty level increases, the amount of text, the grade level of it. So when you have that foundation strong, it just builds and builds and builds, and they are able to go there and if they're a strong reader, you know, that helps you in every subject. If you have a deficit in reading, you will have a deficit in every subject, and learning in school and in life in general will be much more of a challenge. So this foundation is extremely strong, and we are appreciative that today's lesson was brought to us by the letter L and the letter O, Miss Lakeisha, by Miss Lakeisha Owens. So that was wonderful. So look, we're going to have a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, what are you going to be reading?
And I was sitting here going, I sure hope it hasn't been read. But I don't think so. I think this was read at my school.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, when we come back,
like a superhero.
When we come back, Miss Owens is going to get her read on. So don't you guys go anywhere.
Smart kids make our world better. At Heavenly Hearts, we believe that the right foundation is key to our future leader success. With our 4 key learning principles, which are inclusive learning environment, early exposure to financial literacy, community engagement, science and technology with engineering, art, and math labs, will enrich each one of our future leaders as well as the community they are part of. In these unprecedented times, the $59 billion childcare industry has been dramatically impacted by the pandemic. Heavenly Hearts has currently implemented several advanced health and safety precautions to protect our children and staff at our current licensed facility in Chesapeake, Virginia. Our new location will continue to use advanced technology to protect our children from this and future threats to their health and safety, as our mission is to educate, empower, and equip our students with the necessary foundation to be holistically successful throughout life. We invite you to get involved. As an investor or community partner, you can help in a variety of ways. Contact Serena Mann at 757-254-8156.
Welcome back, virtual villagers. So the story I have today is actually an autobiography. I called it a biography before, but I misspoke. It is an autobiography. In fact, it is a book that was written. The author wrote this book, and it's about herself. All right. So this story is called Superheroes Are Everywhere. And I know kids know superheroes, and they think of superheroes. They think of all the Marvel characters and the DC characters. But in fact, superheroes don't have to be made up characters. They can actually be people that are right around you. And this story is written by Kamala Harris, and it's illustrated by Michelle Renee Rowe. Faster than a rocket ship, stronger than a tidal wave, braver than a lion. Superheroes always make the world better, no matter what goes wrong. Whenever there's trouble, superheroes show up just in time. When I was a kid, I was sure that superheroes were everywhere, blending in with regular people, ready to do good at a moment's notice. I was determined to find them. So I started my superhero search right at home. It didn't take too long to find one. I noticed my mom had a magic touch. Her hugs made me feel warm, safe, and even strong. She knew I loved good food, so she taught me her secret recipe. And we'd create huge, delicious meals together for our friends and family. I even cooked some of the dishes all by myself. See, Kamala, my mom would say, you can do anything if you put your heart in it and try hard. Anything in the world. My mom was a superhero because she believed in me, believed I could do anything. Heroes make you feel special. Who makes you feel special? My sister Maya and I did everything together. Ballet class, piano lessons, bike riding, and board games. I knew that if I ever needed her, she'd be there, one half of our dynamic duo. When we felt sad, my mom would throw us an unbirthday party so we'd feel better. Together, we'd eat unbirthday cake and open unbirthday presents and dance around the living room. Maya was always by my side. My sister was a superhero because she was someone I could count on. Heroes are people you can count on. Who can you count on? I kept searching for superheroes in other parts of my family. My dad wanted me to be fearless. Whenever we were at the park, he'd let go of my hand and called, "Run, Kamala, run." And I'd run as far as I could for as long as I could. My dad was a superhero because he made me feel brave. Heroes make you feel brave. Who makes you feel brave? My grandmother was one of the smartest people I'd ever met, and she used her smarts and her voice to speak out for women who were being hurt and to teach them how to stay healthy. My grandfather used his voice to make India a free country. All of my grandparents in India and in Jamaica were superheroes for standing up for what's right. Heroes stand up for what's right. Who stands up for what's right in your life? My best friends and I cared about each other. When I was in kindergarten, I told a boy to stop teasing one of my best friends. And another time, that best friend helped me when I fell on the playground. We all wanted to feel safe at school. My best friends were superheroes because they made one another feel safe. Heroes are best friends. Who are your best friends? I loved my first grade teacher, Mrs. Wilson. She taught us about plants and flowers, sang songs with us from cultures around the world, and revealed how tadpoles turned into frogs. Teachers like Mrs. Wilson are superheroes because they show us the whole wide world and help us chase our dreams. Heroes are teachers. Who are your favorite teachers? When I looked, I found a superhero right down my street. Mrs. Shelton was our family friend and was like a second mom to me. She watched Maya and me while our mom was at work. We'd gobble up her homemade biscuits, peach cobbler, and gumbo for special occasions, and pile into her car on Sundays for church. Mrs. Shelton treated everyone with love and respect. Her kindness made her a superhero to me. Heroes are kind. Who is kind to you? Aunt Lenore and I chased fireflies and caught them in jars. Uncle Sherman taught me to play chess. Aunt Mary and I read book after book together. And Uncle Freddie took me to museums where we'd see dazzling artwork. My aunts and uncles, my mom's friends who were part of our family, helped me explore my world. And that made them superheroes. Heroes explore with you. Who helps you explore? Even as I got older, I kept searching for superheroes. When it was time for me to go to college, I was excited to go where my Aunt Chris went to study, at Howard University. My grandmother hadn't had the chance to go to college, but she encouraged her kids, my mom and my uncles and aunts, to study hard, and they did. My mom became a scientist. My uncle Baloo is an economist. I get it out, sorry guys. My aunt Sharala is a doctor, and my aunt Chena works with computers. They were superheroes because they showed me that by working hard, I could be whatever I wanted to be when I grew up. Heroes work hard. Who do you know that works hard? After college, I wanted to become a lawyer like some of the people I looked up to. Thurgood Marshall, Constant Baker Motley, and Charles Hamilton Houston. They fought in court because they knew that people aren't always treated equally, but should be. Like them, I wanted to make sure that the law would protect everyone. These lawyers were superheroes because they protected people by using the power of words and ideas. Heroes protect people. Who protects you? Once I became a lawyer and then a senator, I worked with all sorts of people to help kids. Even better, I got to know amazing kids who want to make the world a better place. And you know what I learned? Heroes are you. Superheroes are everywhere you look, even inside of you. Are you kind, brave, and curious? Are you a best friend? Do you share? Do you treat people fairly? Do you lend a hand when other people need help? You're a hero by being the very best you. Now that's pretty super. The end. I hope you can find some heroes in your life.
All right, that was a great story. Thank you for that, Miss Owens. As you were reading that, I was definitely, thinking to myself, I hope that every child is able to answer personally who protects them. That not even in the grand scope of learning about, government and people. I hope that they are able to personally, quickly say who protects them. And I hope that we as villagers, virtual villagers and in-person villagers, that we are doing a good job of making sure that our children feel protected. I remember one of the most profound things when Shania first started being a part of the virtual village. She said, as she was speaking, she said, "I am protected." And that resonated with me. I never forgot that. We're coming up on a year now. And that made me feel so good. At the time, she was only 10. I mean, she's only 11 now. But at 10 years young, and she was wowing us, stunning us with the way she was able to read and her intelligence and her spirit and versatility and all of that. But she said, "I am protected." And so we want all of our babies to feel that way. And it's important that, as parents, as grandparents, aunts, uncles, community members, whatever it is, teachers, administrators, all of that, that we are making sure that our children feel protected. And then we stand in the gaps. We fill in the gaps when we see that that's not happening. I feel like wherever I am, my head's on the swivel. If the children are around, then I know that I have to be a protector, and it has nothing to do with whether or not it's a child who I gave birth to. So that's what resonated with me from that story, that each and maybe, let's check in with our children, whether it's our children who we did give birth to or children who are around us all the time, and find out if they feel protected, if they are able to answer that question, who protects you? Because we want them to be able to fire that real quickly. And unfortunately, that's not the case for every child.
No, it's definitely not.
So did you have?
But I like my name in there.
Particularly stood out. You like that?
Well,
your
this
name was
stood out. Well, no, I when I read this book, it wasn't just the teacher part. Like, yeah, that I am that, but I wanted, when I read it to my kids, and I would ask the questions, and they would type in the chat box. It wasn't just the teacher one that I got my name thrown into, the person you can count on. my name was thrown out for that one.
Yes.
So, when I think of this, I want my
you're
kids.
saying your students, when you read this book, your students were saying that. They were saying, okay.
One of them
Okay, I'm
typed
a
in.
little slow tonight.
Yeah, when I read "Who Can You Count On," one of my students wrote Miss Owens.
Yes, that's what we want. That's exactly. I know that felt good.
Yeah, and it does, because that's, I don't see myself just as a teacher. I like to be all these things, even though it's exhausting, but that's why I do it, not just to teach, but to do more. So yeah, that's why
we
the book.
Definitely appreciate it. I am having a little bit of connectivity issues here. I don't know if it's me or if it's on my end, if it's Cox or what's going on here. But I caught you a little slow when you said that I caught what you were saying eventually, that your students, you read this to them and those were the responses that they were giving. And I think that is wonderful. That is wonderful. So that means that they're not just coming to school and having a teaching experience. They are having a holistic experience if they are able to call out their teachers' names, name for multiple responses to those questions. So that is awesome. Again, much love to you for the work that you put in educating and loving on our children and making sure that those needs, those holistic needs, are being met. That is important. It can't, the lesson, the instruction is important. That's why we're there. But we know that our children need a lot more than that. And especially during these times right now, it's elevated. So that is wonderful. We have the best teachers here on the Virtual Village Show. They are the best teachers on the show and the best teachers in person and virtually with our children. So we appreciate you. And again, we're sending you a lot of love and positive energy as you guys begin to embark on this returning back to school after an entire year. This is the first time you will meet these students in person, because when it ended last year, it was a completely different group that you had been with. So this is quite momentous here. And like
I've met all these kids before. I've been to their house already. I can't stay away, I guess.
Yes.
It's just I'll have them in my space now.
So I am having the connectivity issue, so I'm having to try to decipher what you said, but I caught that you've been to their houses before. I am learning to read, bad connection. And so we know that you are the Gorilla Love teacher. When we talk about practicing Gorilla Love, we know that you do that. So I am deciphering from bad connection that you said you have met your students before, because your Gorilla Love and Gorilla Education tactics made sure that you went there personally and you have reached out and you have already met them. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I think that's a beautiful thing. I hope that my ability to, speak bad connection, that I, interpreted what you said correctly.
Yes.
It looks like I did. It looks like I am getting too good at it. It's only been a year. It's only been a year. So I should have some skill. Can we add that to our skill set? What we're fluent in. I'm fluent in bad internet connection. I can really decipher what people are saying when they start to sound like R2D2. I know it.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. But thank you so much, sis. We really appreciate you. Thank you for bringing this lesson, your energy, and for all that you do for our students. You have a wonderful evening, and we look forward to when we see you again, that you can give us a report on how things are going with the return, okay?
Yes, I will.
All right. Take care. All right. So we definitely enjoyed that lesson from Miss Owens. And again, it brings joy to my heart to hear how she goes above and beyond. She's like, I already met my students, like she is making sure that her students know that the love is there. And you all may have heard me talk about that a lot of our children suffer from what I have called a love deficiency. And, when you don't feel loved, then your performance in school is not going to be optimal. It's not going to be at its best. So there are a lot of things. We have teachers who care, and they are putting in the work to teach our students, and they are putting in the love, and it makes a world of difference. So, and again, we as community members, as virtual villagers, as in-person villagers, let's make sure that we are doing the same thing. Have you told a child that you love them? Have you told a child that you believe in them? Do you randomly say this to our children? That's what guerrilla love is. It's just randomly when you see a group of our children, and instead of scowling at them or turning our noses up at them, saying, hey, I believe in you, or just speaking to them with a hearty greeting, just, telling them that they're beautiful, or, hey, I've seen you around the neighborhood. You do whatever very well, whatever you have observed, or, I'm proud of you, or keep going, like do that. Even if it feels uncomfortable, do it until it feels comfortable. Affirm our children. There's this, everybody says Black Lives Matter, Black excellence, all of these things. Well, let's walk it. Let's walk it. Let's make sure that we are saying these things, that we are exercising these things. Our children are the most valuable asset to our community. So let's make sure that we love on them. They are deserving of that. So just simply being able to say to them, I see you, and I believe in you. Being able to just speak to them. Hey, how are you doing? No, really, how are you doing? It goes a long way. And do it until they stop looking surprised. Because if they're looking surprised, then that means we're not doing our job. Do it until it's just normal, until it's like, hey, Miss Johnson, hey, Mr., and you guys are carrying on a conversation like that. Do that. Do that. Well, on that note, I think I need a quote. I need, we're talking about the young people, and I need a young person to come through with the boom of the ancestors. And so that is the time when powerful Peyton comes through, and she blesses us with what one of our ancestors have said. But I believe they jump in this little girl's body and speak through her. So if you want to experience such a thing, don't you go anywhere.
Greetings, virtual villagers. I am Peyton, and today's quote is Blacks were herded into the sights of unscrupulous lenders who took them for money and for sport, by Tallahassee Coates.
Jumbo Virtual Villagers, I'm Jamir, and I'm back to bring you the book recommendation of the day. Kalia told you about how the 2008 housing crisis devastated the Black community. If you are interested in gaining a historical context of how housing discrimination has impeded Black generational wealth to this day, check out The Color of Law by Richard Rothstein. You can purchase this book at your local Black-owned bookstore, or visit smile.amazon.com and at Clever Communities in Action, ask your charity, and Amazon will donate a percentage of the price of your purchases at no cost to you.
All right, and of course, Peyton, it was not an ancestor this time. Ta-Nehisi Coates is very much alive, but she still delivers that like no other, like no one else can. And we are extremely proud of our youth. Jamir comes through with that book recommendation. And The Color of Law, if you all have not read that book, I recommend that you read that book. And also, we have some exciting news. Like, I put a little pin in this, but remember The Color of Law, because we have something that we're going to share, a project that we are working on in regards to that. And it is outstanding. It is outstanding. So, hold your horses, because we will be sharing that. And again, I just want to, end it on being extremely proud of our young people. They come through and, they deliver. It takes time to do what you see on here. Although they make it look effortless and seamless, it takes time to do that. And they're dedicated to it. They believe in it. They learned a lot from it, and they brought a lot to it. So we are extremely proud of them for that. And I'm also, as Jamir said, one way in which you can support Clever Communities in Action, We are encouraging you all to add these books, the stories that are read, as well as the book recommendations that Jameer gives. Add them to your book collection at home. We mostly recommend Black children's books, but we also have some book recommendations like the one today that is for adults or for teenagers. And so you all, if you, we say first, go to your local Black-owned bookstore to purchase these books. If there is not a Black-owned bookstore near you or they are not able to get these books, then if you get them from Amazon, you can go to smile.amazon.com and you can type Clever Communities in Action, and we become your official charity that you support. And that way, anytime you make a purchase from Amazon, we get a percentage of the proceeds, and it costs you nothing, not a zero, zilch, nothing at all. Okay. So it's strength in numbers, and the more people who do that, the more it helps us to be able to bring this programming, to provide culturally affirming literature to our children, and for the virtual village to continue to thrive and grow and win. Also, make sure that you click the share button right now. If you believe in what we're doing, it's as simple as pushing that share button, and make sure that you subscribe to our Clever Communities in Action YouTube page, as well as our Facebook page. That's Clever Communities in Action. And if you would like to make a contribution to Clever Communities in Action, no amount is too large or too small. You can go right on over there to clevercommunities.org and make a donation. And if you want to do recurring donations, whether it's $5 or $500, you can click recurring and you can support us monthly. So it's really, really easy to do. And if you're a Cash Apper, you can do $ Clever Communities. We are pretty consistent with that. We are easy to find. So thank you all for tuning in. Make sure that you tell somebody about us so that more people can know. And also make sure that you keep reading. The weather is nice. And as I said in the beginning, what a wonderful time to go outside, whether it's in your backyard or in a park, on your porch. Put a blanket out, put some chairs out, and read together. Snuggle up to a great Black children's book and read together as a family. Put your favorite snacks out there and get yourselves ready to read with the Literacy Game theme song before you get started, okay? So this is our next to the last week. Next week is our last week of season 4, and we will be celebrating the accomplishments of this, and we want all of our virtual villagers to be tuned in. So you all have a wonderful rest of the week and a wonderful weekend, and we will see you back next week, next Monday at 7 p.m. Be on time, all right? Because we'll be looking for you. So y'all take it easy. Keep reading. Peace.